people. Hope everyone is doing well today. Good news, exciting news. Leeds United have signed Jayden Bogle, Sheffield United. This is the intro. The rest of the video was recorded earlier, hence why I'm wearing different things. So ignore that, but let's get straight into it. Let's go. Yeah, let's just get straight into it, people. So the basic information, apologies, I'm going to have to move my head around again just to fit all this stuff in. The basic information, obviously played for Sheffield United, previous. He's 23 years old, so he's still yet to reach his prime in his career. I think that's an important aspect of this signing, is for a lot of the development points that he can still reach, there is still time to develop. He's still 23 years old. There's a ceiling to that. There's more progression to that. There's more development to that, which is important. Height and weight, he's not a huge guy. He's quite a small dude. Preferred foot right. Obviously, I've not even put it in there. He's a right back / right wing back. Can play either position. Injury history. He did have a bad injury in the 21-22 season. He saw 31 games missed. I think it was midway through the season to the start of the next season. So, yeah, that is the thing. But it's been weird. It's weird on Transfermarkt. You look at his injury record, and if there's a Sheffield United fan, you'll have to ask me. You'll have to tell me. There's a lot of games he missed. I don't know whether that's just form, inconsistency, or injury. It doesn't really say. But yeah, that's the basic information. 23-year-old right back. And yeah, people, I've changed the slight format of the scout report just to make it a bit more interactive and easy on the eye, I guess, as opposed to that long kind of thing. You know, for videos, it's better like this. But yeah, we'll go through the tactical and technical stuff first before we go into the other stuff. First touch 7, ball control 8. You know, nothing that screams unbelievable in terms of these things. But one thing I like about him a lot of time, especially in advanced attacking areas, is first touch. He's often trying to beat a man. You know, he gets high on the fullback, on the opposition fullback. The ball comes into him. That first touch might be the one round the corner. He likes to go to, it's called the key assist zone, which is kind of the zone, you know, right on the edge of the box in the corner, to cut it back, where all the cutbacks happen. He loves that zone. That's the key zone. Short passing, he's 7. I put 7 because, and passing in terms of slow build-up possession-based passing isn't necessarily something he necessarily enjoys doing by the looks of it. He's a guy who likes to move quickly and forward with the ball. And again, playing wing back, you naturally are more progressed than if you're a left back. You know, the build up is higher up naturally when you get the ball. But short passing is fine, nothing special. Recovery is important, and I put this in tactical because I think it is part of the way we play. You know, ball recovery is huge. It's understanding where you need to be in positional play. He's a good recoverer, he's quick, and he understands where the space is behind him. You know, even if he does get beat, his recovery is pretty decent. Last ditch tackles, blocks, you know, that clearances, all that stuff is pretty high. So recovery is a decent aspect of his game. Progressive ball carries, I think this is something that could be slightly higher. I put 7. He has the ability for that though. That's the key part of it for me. A player who, and this is as I go through this, you'll notice the best things about Jayden Bogle are his aggression. And I mean that in so many different terms. I mean, you know, pressing, in terms of the pressing aggression, you know, on the ball aggression, going forward, finding spaces aggressively, driving aggressively, you know, all that stuff. I love his aggression, and this comes into the ball carry side of it. He's someone who could do it more, but like I said, he likes to really get to the byline and create cutbacks or crossing opportunities for oncoming attackers or midfielders. Technical ability 8 for this level is very decent in terms of technical level. He's not a 10, he's not a 9, you know. But he's a very decent technical player for this level. Progressive passes, again, very similar. Something that can improve. But what I like about him is he tries them. And that's important for a passer, you know. Someone who's got the best passing stats, it doesn't necessarily say they're a better passer. The passes could be simple, basic passes. Are they trying to take risks? That's the key. And he does. And sometimes, you know, that doesn't come off. But I think Daniel Farke likes his fullbacks to do that. He's probably not as neat and tidy at all in possession as Firpo, who I think is excellent. And obviously at this level, Firpo in terms of maintaining the ball is probably the best in the league, and it's not even close. Jayden Bogle is decent at that. It's something he can do better. And the reason I put it at 8, which based on his previous season at Sheffield United probably seems quite high, it's just because at this level in the Championship, which is what they're based on, I think think that progressive side of his play, moving forward with the ball and finding little through balls for the runners, if that's Matteo Joseph, if that's Georgina Rutter, Dan James, I think it's something he can do. The defensive side of his play is probably the weakest point. Tackling duels. Now, come back to that word aggression. And that either really works for him or he gets beat. He gets spun and he gets a bit too tight or it's a bit too late to get there. That is something that was a problem at times in the Premier League. Now, the context to this is the Championship. He will probably still get beat and turned every now and again, obviously. He's not the perfect defender. There is parts of that game in which he can improve and needs to improve if he wants to really make it as a top player in the Premier League, for me. But generally speaking, is it something that turns you off the player? Not for me. I think it is being overhyped how bad his defence is based on a Premier League season in a poor side where, just watch the games, people. The amount of exposure the fullbacks got is ridiculous. It's definitely something he can develop. He's an attacking player. He likes to attack. He has a lot of aggression. And sometimes that can be a good thing defensively, especially when pressing. But when you're half a second off it, and he's in that kind of space, and they can do a 1-2 around him because he's not quite made it, that can be a problem. Quick, physical, tricky wingers in the Premier League, Hudson-Odoi is a good example, did tear him apart a little bit. But this is part of growing. This is part of, dropping down now in the Championship to develop that side of your game to become a solid defensive player. You can improve that. Junior Firpo has improved that. He still has moments in games, of course, but he has improved that. And Jayden Bogle will as well. I truly believe that. But yeah, not his strongest feat. We'll go to the other side now. The psychological and physical. Physical is big in the Championship. Different parts of physicality, but using body to maintain the ball, something I like. Press resistance, basically. I like that. He's good at winning fouls, is one thing I noticed. Just that kind of alien thing of just getting your body between the man and the ball. A very simple, basic thing that can make you a much better footballer. Makes you less press resistant. It's part of the game, winning fouls, unfortunately. But he's good at that. He can do that. Acceleration, a quick player. And again, I come back to that willingness and that desire to attack. When he goes forward and really attacks them wide spaces, he's very dangerous. He's very dangerous. And with runners around him, attacking as well, he'll get a lot of assists as well. Yeah, quick player, which is good. Physicality, 7. And again, physicality isn't necessarily how strong you are. There's a lot of aspects of physicality, right? But physicality, not the biggest guy, not the strongest guy, but he's very aggressive and likes a tussle. Will lose out, will get shoved off the ball. Also, his aggression will allow him to win that as well. Agility is agile, what can I say? Little guy, very agile. Movement, good movement. Quick movement, decisive movement. Fitness, 7, like I said, in and out of teams in the last couple of years. Was fairly solid performer at Derby, played a lot of football. Up and downs at Sheffield United, I think that's fair to say. His actual physical fitness is fine. It's just that consistency in how much he plays. And then psychological. Quite difficult to do psychological when I've not watched, loads of these players. But mentality, player who again has come through that tough injury. Anyone to come out of a really bad knee injury that keeps you out for the best part of a year has a strong mentality. Has a strong mentality for me. Persistence, again, going through that injury. Leadership, 6. I've not seen anything necessarily that makes him stand out as a leader. Nothing that makes me go, he's not a leader at all. I'll just give him a 6. Calmness, quite a calm player. In his own way. He doesn't play like a guy that's, just laid back and slowing everything down. He'll do things quick if he can. That's his calmness. That's his comfortable space. Reading of the game, I like him. I think he's very adaptable in a 4 or a 3 at the back. Well, technically a 5 for him. As a wing back or as a right back, I think he's very adaptable in that sense. He has strengths to help both those systems. So I think he reads the game well. If there's a space, either inverted or outside, he can do either. That's another thing I like. He likes to drive inside if the space is inside. Dan James goes really wide. He can tuck inside. Very comfortable in those spaces. Just something I like tactically and something we do. Thinking speed. It's a bit weird, thinking speed, but yeah. speed of thought, understanding the system, understanding the progression and where the ball should be from an offensive perspective is good. And concentration, I just put a 7. Look. Stats. Here we are. Here is his career stats. So last year, I think he played, I actually got it for last season, but he played a lot of games in the Premier League last year. I think around 20 odd, and did get 3 goals for a poor side. So that is something that maybe he can develop and bring into the Championship. But in his overall career, at 23, he's made 115 Championship appearances with 8 goals and 16 assists, which is pretty good for a fullback. Premier League, he's made 50 Premier League appearances already at the age of 23, with 5 goals. And a lot of the youth games there, I'll let everyone read through. Now, something I want to bring up, and this is what I like, and this is when I talk about the system, is just over here, is the different positions he's played. Now, let me just clarify. So this is from Transfermarkt. And Transfermarkt, when it says right mid, that's part of a back 5. It doesn't, they're wing backs. It doesn't differentiate wing backs from midfielders. He's a guy who can play both. And that's key for me. Whether we, as we've seen, do play this 3, or we go back to our trusted 4, which is very likely as well, and is probably something we will do a lot of the season regardless. He can do both. Of course, the setup around him is that exposure 1v1. You want to minimise that as much as possible. Of course you do. Similar to Firpo in that sense, but with excellent players around him who are good at recovery, that works. But a player who can adapt to both systems, which he has done in the past, and he can do for Leeds United. And that's what makes him, for me, a really good asset to Daniel Farke in whichever system we choose. It works. That's what's the key part. That's what's important. Yeah. And again, just to look at the heat maps, you guys can just pause it and have a look at them for longer. A guy, as you can see, though, as a right back, likes to come inside a little bit more and create combinations centrally. As you can see, just down here, those kind of areas a bit further in, those central combinations. You've seen the Prem last year as well. There, the red is further back. Again, the system. But then the Championship 22-23 season, you can see that red much higher. A progressive side of it. Breaking into the box as well. Lovely stuff. The key concerns and the key strengths. If there's any spelling mistakes, I apologise. I apologise. Anyway. And this is one thing I really like. Crosses and cutbacks, especially in the key assist zone. And I'll show you what that is. So the key assist zones is this area here. This is where a lot of assists, I can't remember the number, but this is called the key assist zone. So much assists come from this area here. And this is where Jayden Bogle, for me, is excellent, especially at this level. He will get into this area, between the 6-yard box and the edge of the box, forward movements. He will get into this area and look for cutbacks. And ball, look for cutbacks. Whether that's a cross, whether that's behind, whether that's a chip to the back post or around the penalty spot, Jayden Bogle will get into this area here. Good. So I love to see. That's what we need. Didn't necessarily have that from the right last year. There was a lot on the winger to do that. Yeah, so that's what crosses and cutbacks, that's why it's a strength for me. I think it's really good. System understanding, I don't know if that makes sense, but understanding the system. Again, like I said, he has played in a 3 and a 4 at the back. He has that kind of energy and that forward movement, that progressiveness to work under Daniel Farke. And at times, I don't know if I've said it's defending, but he's not horrifically bad at defending. He will have moments in games where he gets beat. But he'll also have moments where his aggression in defensive positions works for him, and he wins that ball back, and we can start a counter-attack. That's what I mean, people. We've got to understand these. We're not going to sign players who are unbelievably good at defend, and unbelievably good in transition, and unbelievably good at attacking with the numbers. Because otherwise they just wouldn't be playing here, would they? Jayden Bogle would now be playing for a Palace or a Brighton, if that was the case. At this point in his career. Movement I spoke about. Good movement on off the ball. Progressive movement, again. Final third side of that, the key assist zone, which I speak about. Energy is a bit of a house. He is a bit of one of them. I think fans will like him. He doesn't apologise for his tackles. He doesn't apologise for hurting someone on the pitch. But I think you guys will like that. Got the aggression as well. And the transitional movement. Again, when we win the ball deep, going forward quick. What a right back to have in that scenario. Tackle timing of tackle. I don't know why I do it like that. It's just easier for me to write. Tackle timing. Yeah, like I said, can dive in. Is slightly hesitant in deeper areas when to go for the ball and can be caught out at that sense. But again, concerns aggression. Just like his strength is aggression, it also be his weakness. It's about controlling that aggression and understanding the timing of that aggression, right? And simple decision making. Like I said, that's for me, that is a lot to do with the system he played at Sheffield United, you know, the way in which they tried to attack and stuff like that. So that is something that will change at Leeds United. And the final slide on Jayden Bogle. The overall outputs for everything I say. His technical ability, based on the scores I showed you guys. Basically, I've got this algorithm and I rank it from F to A+, and for each number it gives a rating, but whatever. I'm not going to show that on A, I'll just show the result. Technical was a B, rated at a B. Physical, B+. Psychological, B. Ceiling, A. This is my opinion. I think, again, for 5 million, you're increasing that on the long contract. There's so much room for development at 23 years old. Me has scope in the Premier League as well. But yeah, definitely an A ceiling for us for sure. System fit, B+. Can't really give much higher when you don't actually know. But a B+ is a solid system. You know, a guy that fits system in a solid way. That's good. An overall B+, I think it's a very, very solid signing. Probably one of the best fullbacks in the league. I won't say the best. There's still 2 or 3 other really good ones as we speak. But it's definitely in the top 4, top 3 for me. A really good signing for us, especially from a rival as well. Who they are in terms of promotion. They will be up there-ish. Whether that's top 6, top 10, but they'll be around, you know. So, good signing for us. Hopefully he stays fit. Hopefully he can get going. Hopefully he puts his head down and gets on with it, which obviously he will. Yeah, looking forward to this one. I really am. This is good business from Leeds United. Let me know what you guys think. See you soon. Bye.